Okay, it's February 21st, and we're going to do an update on all plants currently in the garden. The experiment run is gone. I've just got the over nutrient plant, and we'll start with that one. It's really not looking so good. It seems to have been affected kind of poorly. I did just water it quite a bit yesterday. And so maybe it's just suddenly sucking up all those nutrients and then it's getting, damaged. But this thing suddenly looked poor overnight. So we'll have to take a look back at the video. This one right here looks pretty good. A little light on top. I gave this, I just said hell with it and gave it a big boost of Biothrive, which is a 433. Just to see if it kind of bounces back, because it's got a nice shape, it's got a ton of branching, but it just is, it's a mess. But if I can get this thing to just grow big and tall, it would be insane. So that's where we're at with this one. Let's see, this one is not tree trunk. This is the little brother. Looks really good on top, really good. New growth is just a tad light. It doesn't have the dark blue, so it's not full of nitrogen. I think someone said that's what that means. But it's looking pretty decent. For this one, I kind of canopied it, and I chopped off a lot of the big leaves, the shade leaves, like this one. I chopped off a lot of leaves like this. I left them on tree trunk. You can see them here. So we're going to see what happens with not a lot of big leaves versus a lot of big leaves and see where these two progress. This one has a lot of offshoots going, so I'm hoping the growth just gets put into those offshoots. But this one looks really good. Really pleased with this one. Tree trunk over there is not looking so good. The top looks a little gnarly right here. This leaf. I did just water this yesterday with a normal dose of TigerBloom. Gave it about a half a gallon, maybe more. Basically just till runoff. I water everything until runoff, but it looks good down here. These are some huge shoots. And then I cut off a couple big shading leaves, but I left a couple more just because I just wanted to, make a difference between these two and see what happens. But the top of this one, I think looks better than the top of this one. I won't get too far back into the tent, but I transplanted one of the small Pequeno peppers and then gave it a little bit of Biothrive, I think it was, just to see if it'll come back. Big pepper plant, still producing peppers. I'm going to have to go in there and Q-tip all the flowers today. I'll do that. And then that one back there, let's see if we can get an angle on it. Sorry about this, but tent's kind of a mess. Back there, it's doing fine. It had just a slight amount of light green on the new growth, so I think everything was kind of running out of fertilizer. That one was pretty heavy last time though, so I felt like it didn't need water, but I just watered it anyways. It's in cocoa. It's almost impossible to overwater something like that, and I figure it just needs a little nutrient boost because, again, the cocoa is the nutrient neutral medium. And let's see if we can get a shot in there. It looks, it's hard to tell, but it looks pretty good, and it's almost like a cool little bonsai tree. Stepping into the tent, the leaves look pretty good. Not a lot of misshapenness. This one's starting to get a little misshapen, but all in all, pretty decent looking plant. And so that's what's going on. And then there's this plant right here. This is the one with all this jankiness down here. That's just kind of a problem. And then over here, doesn't look too great on top. So what I'm gonna get into is cloning. And I bought some cloning powder off of Amazon, where I buy everything. And so basically what's gonna happen to this plant here is I'm going to take this plant, both of them maybe, and I'm going to chop it up. I'm going to chop it up and try to clone it. And I would use one of those two to clone because those are obviously the stronger plants. But for the first run of cloning, I'm going to try it with this, and we're going to see how it goes.